Captain International Scale Model. I'm Lee. This is the February 2016 update. I'm sorry it's a bit late. We have just been extremely busy with some very new things that are that close to coming to fruition, so do excuse the lateness. Right, okay, so coming up this month is all the usuals, basically the forum updates of GBs SiGs, some ultimate news in brief, mine and Paul's current build update, free prize draw for January, and obviously what prizes are coming up for this month. There's a couple reviews this month. There's a Mr. Hobby chipping block by me and a Mr. Hobby Mr. Colour paints by Paul. But I think first of all, let's get over to the ultimate news. Okay, so not amazing news this month so far for Ultimate. We've obviously we announced last month that we got the UK distributor rights for tan model, which have gone absolutely fantastic. Obviously we sell them ourselves, select model shops around the country as well. We distribute to are selling them as well, so there's all sorts of offers all around the place. eBay, our site, other sites, e-models even, and things like that. So, you know, feel free to have a look around and see what's where they are and where you can get them from. Fantastic kit. I haven't heard a bad word said about it yet. Even some of the groups that are known to bash kits quite badly have even come up with really good things as well. So it's a lovely kit and very well engineered. So if you haven't seen one, you are on the fence, go and get one. Fantastic. Obviously there is also we started retro kit in Germany. I was stocking retro kit, the minions and all those sort of things, and they're going particularly well. They are really popular, and I think they're so funky as well. I really do love these things. But we've had 4 new ones in the last couple of weeks since we've started selling these, and they are the Clint Eastwood one for a few bananas more. We've got the Breaking Bad one, season 1, so I would imagine there's actually more Breaking Bad ones due to come out, and hopefully the hazmat suit and things like that. That would be very cool. We've also got the Fireman one, the Be-Do one, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Johnny Depp one, which is actually really funky as well. So, and I know he's got plans for more in the next few months as well to come out, but they're absolutely brilliant little things, and they're getting better and better with each time as well. And I think he's got, it's not just Omi that sculpts them now, he's got someone else in to help him to sculpt them and that. But they're coming up. We're selling them out of business at the moment, so he's asking us to sculpt some more to get them to us. So cast some more. But they're fun little kits, and if you again, if you want something a little diversion, something that's a bit different, then they're definitely worth a look. They really are fantastic. I love them. Now, obviously, we've had a countdown on our website for, I don't know, the last 30 odd days. We've had to push it back by 7 days just because of things out of our control. But in less than 2 weeks we should have our new product announcement. Now what we'll do is, obviously we'll do a big one for the next news show, but it may be that we may withhold the release and announce it in next month's news show. We don't know yet, so haven't made up our minds, but it depends if everything comes together quite well. We're still waiting on a couple of components, but it shouldn't be too long. But hot on the heels of that one, we'll have another product release probably about 30 to 40 days after that one. Again, another big one for us. And then 2 months after that, we've probably got another 2 as well. So, and these are all new products as well to our line. They're not just, you know, extra washes or extra sanders or anything like that. These are whole new products for Ultimate Model products. So definitely something to watch out for. And I know Paul and I are both really psyched about these new ones as well. Absolutely, really over the moon with it. So hopefully we'll be able to share what it is in the next couple of weeks with you. So watch this space, or watch the countdown clock on umpretail.com. Okay, well that's all the Ultimate news. I think what we're going to do now, we're going to go over to Paul, who's going to do a review on the Mr. Hobby Mr. Colour paint sets, something he hasn't used before. Over to Paul.
Hi everyone, Paul International Scale Modeler. Welcome to another review. Today I'm going to review a new paint set to me. They've been out for quite some time. It's a Mr. Hobby Mr. Colour range of paints. I've got 4 of their sets for various specific subjects. I've never used a Mr. Colour before. These are solvent-based, lacquer, sailors-based paints. I've used the Aquarus now for a good 3 years nearly. Massive fan of Mr. Hobby Aquarus, which are water, but I don't know if they've got Aquarus in the name because they're not. They're alcohol-based. These, like I say, are lacquer, sailors-based, so a bit more smelly, but should be a harder wearing paint. Well, hopefully anyway. Like I say, I've never used them before. They get rave reviews everywhere, so it's something I want to try for quite some time. So, got a few of these sets sent to me by Martin at air-craft.net. We've got the US Army, Navy, Royal Air Force, or FOS, as it says on the box for some reason, aircraft interior colour set, the World War II US Naval Aircraft standard colour set, and World War II RAF standard colour set for early, desert, and the middle and late period as well. There's 3 paints in a box, and all the colours are on the side as well. So what I'll do, take it over the camera so you can have a look. So, like I say, each box, 3 paints in each one. We'll pick one. We'll go for, let's go for the World War II early and desert. So they're well packaged. A little bit of a spacer in the box to space them out. Like I say, 3 colours. So we've got the sky colour. So that's the underneath of most aircraft. Got dark earth for early aircraft, early Spitfires, Hurricanes, etc. Quite a hard colour to match. And azure blue. Very, very nice colours. They do need mixing. There's one thing I did notice. I haven't sprayed them yet, but I did have a good look. That is a stunning colour. Absolutely beautiful. But they do need a good mix, and my Badger paint mixer will come in very, very handy. Now, just taking the lid off, I can smell them. It smells just like the Mr. Colour Thinner, which is what we'll be using on these. And that is kind of what the Acura smell like as well. So they're going to smell a bit more, but I don't think there's going to be a huge difference. But you definitely need an extractor, spray booth, etc. and or face mask. I'll probably have both on when I'm using these. Not for the review, I'll be able to hear me talk. But if you are using them, take precautions. Don't be spraying them in your living room with your kids next door. Make sure you're either outdoors or you've got a well vented room. So, like I say, not used them before, so we'll go to a spray booth and have a quick go with them in a minute, and it'll be nice to see how they are. The box, like I say, has a spacer inside. Each one's the same. I'm not going to open each one. We'll probably test the interior and the US Naval one spraying. But on the side, you've got some basic information in Japanese, basic information on aircraft. You can see the colours there, says the Earth, there's your blue, etc. Then on the other side, the actual colours themselves. There's no English on there other than the name, the BS number, and the other number as well. So there's no English on there, but it's paint. At the end of the day, you airbrush it and away you go. So there we go. Quite excited to try these. Sounds a bit sad, but something I want to try for quite some time. So we'll pop over to the spray booth and we'll give them a blast. Okay, so we're over in the spray booth. I've picked a couple of the sets to test. I'm going to prep up a colour out of each, and I know which ones I'm going to do because the 2 colours I'm most interested in these sets. So we've got the US Naval Aircraft World War II and the World War II Aircraft Interior colour set. We're going to test the dark blue in this one, which is the glossy blue, which is that one there. And in the interior one, we're going to test the chromate green primer colour, because they're the most significant colours out of these 2 sets for me. So we'll spray the sea blue first. Now, quite a difficult colour to find. A lot of manufacturers try to match this, and in my opinion, they get it way, way wrong. The closest I've found so far is the Acan colour, which I used on my Corsair. So it's interesting to see what this one's going to look like. Now, like I said before, I've never used these before, completely my first time using them. They're going to need a good mix up, so I've got my paint mixer there. So I'll open up and have a look. As you can see, it's a nice dark blue. Beautiful colour. Straight away I can smell the solvent. Obviously not like the Mr. Hobby Acuras these are cellulose based. Now what we're going to do, we're going to mix it in a colour cup, sorry, a mixing cup. I'm just going to pop a little bit in. A bit more. There we go, that'll do us. Put the lid back on. And then we'll add a bit of Mr. Hobby, Mr. Colour Thinner. I do have the level and stuff as well, but we'll try it with this. And like I said, over on the bench, I will come back and we'll try the different colours on different models, and I'll report back in my at the bench videos. So there's a tiny bit of paint in there. I'm just going to put a little bit thinner, not a massive amount. I do it by eye, I never measure. Badger paint mixer is absolutely superb for mixing paint. Unbeatable in my opinion. You can sit there shaking it all day, but unless you really do give it a real good mix, sometimes the paints aren't mixed properly at all. So there we go, nicely mixed in there. We've got my Hardestein Beck Infinity, my compressors on at 24 psi. Now we've got 3 60mm cups here that I use for measuring stuff. I prime them in the Badger Steinler grey primer. We're just going to spray. Use 1, maybe 2. I've got a spare one just in case. One for the chromate, one for the blue. And we'll have a look, see what they spray like. And let's see. So like I say, first time I've ever used them, I'm used to the Aqueous. So I've got a good couple of mil in there. Test spray. Again, no idea how thin we're spraying, just how thin we are, but no problems in spraying. And we're going to put a light mist on to begin with. Now by the noise of the airbrush, I'm going to guess we can do thinning it a little bit more. Just whistling a little bit. It sprays on great, sprays just like Mr. Hobby Aqueous. No problems at all, coverage is beautiful. Mr. Hobby really do have this paint market cornered with these paints, and if you've not used them, they're absolutely superb. The Aqueous spray brilliantly. By the looks of these now, I've got quite a good thick coat on. See how we go. That coverage is absolutely fantastic. Can't fault that at all. Nice coverage. The colour looks very good, very close match to what I had in my Corsair, so can't fault that at all. And again, if we just do a little bit of swiggle painting. See how thin a line we can get. As you can see, you can get nice fine lines. Like I say, it does need thinning a bit more. When we do the chromate one in a minute, we'll thin it a little bit more than we just did. But that, no problem at all. We come back in. Let's put a real thick coat down. Thicker than we normally would spray. Let's just see how it lays down. Out of interest. I'm just going to mark this side, so I know this is the thicker side, and we can compare it when we're dry. So there we go, brilliant. Now, clean out, you're going to need lacquer thinner or cellulose, so I got some cellulose thinner right there. Quick little look how it cleans out the cup, so got a good glug cellulose in there, probably 2.5 mil, more than normally used, but I didn't look, to be honest. I just bunged it in. So usual airbrush cleaning, brush right in, all the way around, ease the needle back so you get the end of the needle too. Awesome. The kitchen roll, pinch the needle, backflow. Away, wipe out the colour cup, spotless, spray out what we got left, clean the tip, do get the brush in there too. Once you're nice and gentle, you can clean your needle no problem. Another backflow, job done. Like I say, because the lacquer-based cellulose paints, they need a lacquer-based thinner, cellulose thinner. Clean them out, and there we go, spotless. So there's the blue. No fault there, all the colour is absolutely stunning. Very happy with that. So we'll quickly grab the green. Really impressed by that, that's absolutely fantastic. Just a shame it's such a hard colour paint to get in the UK. For some reason we can't get the Mr. Paints, Mr. Colour, sorry, Mr. Hobby, Mr. Colour in the UK easy. I've no idea why, but we can't. Let's knock everything over. So again, wow, it's a beautiful colour. Absolutely lovely. So now that's the wrong one. Sorry, I want the primer. Don't nearly. But the colour didn't look quite right then. Yeah, I want to try the primer. That's a beautiful colour. Very, very nice. Again, give it a mix up. And if you can, if the new bottles, try and keep them clean. The lids, you know, the lids will come off a lot easier as well. Once you're done, again, just a little bit splash of, put a little bit more in this time. So we'll easier 50-50 mix, so it might not cover as well. It should spray a little bit better. Right, so through the infinity again. Different colour cut, we'll move the blue one. Again, no problems thinning, spraying nice thin lines. Mist coat on first. There's an obvious difference in smell. I got a bench vent A300 booth, and this thing will get rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, when spraying heavy, I'm getting a little mist of paint back, and I can't spray it. I normally do wear a respirator in here too. And I would recommend that. There we go, so nice mist coat down, so I'm coming a bit thicker now. Again, coverage is lovely, a little bit thinner this time, the airbrush has been struggling. I'm spraying it a lot thicker and a lot quicker than I normally would. Just to get the coverage, but again, beautiful colour, absolutely stunning. Got a little bit of paint left, so let's try some squiggles again. Much easier now, we've got more thin paint. No problem at all, just mark that again, and then we'll put it down thick. Nearly out. Just get this covered, that little bit left in that colour cup, that'd be awesome. Nearly, we'll have a little bit more. So, they spray a lot like Aqueous, they smell a lot worse. But to be honest, not a whole lot. Aqueous, other alcohol, especially water, they're not, they're alcohol based, they do smell. These have got a bit more of a whiff to them. But that coverage is stunning. That's a bit of a wet coat, you can see that now. So use up what's left in that colour cup. There we go. Absolutely beautiful colour. So I'll clean this up and we'll go back to the bench. Right, we're out the spray booth. I haven't looked at the test pots just yet. I've just cleaned the airbrush up and come straight over here and we'll have a looky see what they look like. So we sprayed the navy set first, the gloss blue. And this was the thicker side we sprayed on. The dried, it's only been, God, not even 10 minutes, if that, 5 minutes. A little bit of tackiness there still. Can't really smell it, so it's almost, it is, you know, it's touch dry. This is the side we sprayed on a bit thinner. And yeah, not bad. It's covered well, really well. So looking from inside, is there any difference in? Yeah, it's definitely coverage is very well. Putting it on thicker has covered it more. But whether there's a massive difference in doing it, I don't know. And I'd normally spray this right in, mist coat down, and gradually build up. It might look like I was putting a lot of paint down, but I hardly had the trigger pull back before at all. So great coverage there. So that's the misted on side. We're a bit rough because I didn't sand it back, it was rough primed. So nice coverage there, and on the thicker part as well. It's definitely a deeper shine, so if you built up a bit more, but you can see where I haven't quite got the bottom with it as well. More even coats there, and that'd look absolutely stunning. So like I said, it's a very good match for the sea blue. It's quite a hard colour to get the correct colour of. See a lot of Corsairs, and the blue just looks wrong in my opinion. But obviously it's down to the individual model what they think, and that's how that works. So Chromate primer, as you can see, there's a lighter coat, so not quite got the coverage there because I put it in lighter, but where we have got it, it's covered well. It's a nice satiny. That side's more satin, a bit more of a shine. This side's more matte where I haven't put on as thick. But again, coverage absolutely superb. The colours are fantastic, so they're well pigmented, and that just looks great. So cannot fault them at all. Absolutely love them. If I can get more of them, I certainly will. I know there's a whole range of them, like the Aqueous. But I don't think I need them all because I've got the Aqueous. So maybe there's some specific colours I haven't got, and I know there are other sets. So I'll definitely pay in Martin a visit, air-craft.net, for the other set, I think. But that, yeah, I am well impressed. Easy coverage, easy to spray, easy to clean out the brush, as you saw. Great coverage, no problem getting that paint down there. And that's it. So great colours all around. Like I say, 4 different sets. There's ones for Japanese, there's NATO colours, and I think they're about £8.50 a set. So for 3 paints, it's not the cheapest, but I think you're getting good paints and something that, you know, specific sets, interior sets. You've got the Chromate Type 1, the primer, and the aircraft grade green. So they're going to do all your most of your interior needs on aircraft. You've got the naval aircraft, which is going to cover Corsairs, Dauntless, etc. And those colours are absolutely brilliant. The only thing you're missing there is a white for the underneath. Yeah, doesn't give you that one. But that's just a generic white anyway. So great colours. That's a highly recommended set for Corsairs. Hard colours to find, in my opinion. The Royal Air Force, again, that earth brown, dark earth, is a tricky colour to find as well. Acan does a very good match. As does one of the Mr. Hobby RLMs, makes a good match. Oh no, sorry, they do a dark earth, Mr. Hobby Aqueous, it's up there. So again, great colour as well. Sky, a very specific colour, and then your standard colours as well. So medium sea grey, ocean grey, dark green, very generic colours, so Spitfires, etc. So you will see these in action in later builds of mine. And when I do an after bench update using them, I'll make sure to mention them so you know that it's what's been used. So there you go. So good, whoa, where are we, 20 minute, 25 minute review. Hope you haven't waffled on too long, I haven't bored the bejesus out of you. But I think it's important to give them a good little test. You know, I could talk about them until the cows come in, but spraying them really does show it, and that is fantastic. I am well impressed. So there you go. So if you want some, go to see on aircraft.net. So there's his website. Go and have a look. Martin's a great guy, great customer service, and just fantastic service all around. Highly recommend Martin all day long. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you around, and I'll see you guys soon.
Right, thanks for that, Paul. As you can see, I think they're quite handy paints. I love Mr. Hobby stuff. I'm a real fan of Mr. Hobby. It's funny thing about paints. It's quite an emotive subject, really. I mean, I saw on a group post in the last week or so, someone asked the question, why have people got so many paints? And I think it's quite a different subject for each person. A lot of people have a lot of paints because they do a lot of different subjects. Paul obviously likes collecting paint as part of his hobby. Why isn't he allowed to collect paint? Why can't people have mountains of kits that they'll never finish? And it's the same for, you know, if you collect something, you collect something. I would love to sit in a room like Paul's with paint all around me. I have quite a lot of paint. I have the full set of Tamiya stuff, which I bought, which was my first lot of paints when I first started modelling, and I bought the whole lot because I thought I'd need everything. And then the thing is, I mean, with Tamiya, they're fantastic paints and they're great starter paints as well, but they are quite a limited range, I think. And then I went on to Guns, who do a larger range again, and Guns are my go-to paints of choice. I've got to say, I use them wherever possible. I absolutely love them. And I couldn't bring myself to sell the old Tamiya set. So I kept them, and I've bought the entire ammo range as well. And now the ammo range is I use purely for AFE. I don't use the Guns or the Tamiya or anything. I just use AFE because all the colours are set and they're actually quite good, believe it or not. Even though I've had a few problems with the paints here and there with thinners, using cellulose thinners and things like that, the colours are actually not bad at all, and I quite like them. So, then I've got a few other odds and sods. I've got quite a few life colours, probably about 40 odd life colour paints, which I use for different things, like certain greens. They've nailed the Russian greens, things like that, and they're good for face painting. I've got some of the AK face paint sets just for something else. I've got a few of the Hatakas just to try out. They were test beds and things like that. I've got some model colour as well, which was for figure painting. So I've got a bit of everything. But I think it's, you know, the comment was made that, oh, it's because someone's overcompensating for something else, which I think was a bit derogatory, really, and a bit out of order, because everyone, you know, collects things for a different reason. It's a hobby. You know, what does it matter if someone collects kits, paints, toenail clippings, as someone mentioned, all sorts of things. It doesn't matter. If it makes that person happy, each to their own, I say. So I don't see why people should be derided for doing it at all. I think it's a bit out of order. But apart from that, everything's cool. And I just wanted to say that and put that out there about paints and that. So it seems to be a contentious issue at the moment. Right, I think now we're going to go over to the GBs and SiGs. Right, okay, so the SiG going at the moment. We've got the Fighting Falcon SiG, which finishes on 31st of March. So if you haven't started one, still plenty of time, over 7 weeks to get a model going on that and get finished for sure. It's quite an easy one. It's any F-16 of any kind from anywhere, and so it's an absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favourite birds, and sponsored by ISM stuff, and there's some cracking builds in there already. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Really looking forward to that one. The GB we've got, which finishes on the 30th of April, so nearly 3 months left on that. It was from Russia with Love. And that again is anything Russian or Soviet made with Russia or Soviet markings. Quite simple, that one. Sponsored by MJR Models and Hobbies, and again some fantastic entries into that. A massive amount of entries. Well, I think so for today it's our biggest GB entry so far. So I'm really hoping we get a massive conversion rate on that. So if you're still thinking you've still got 3 months to enter anything into our Russian SiG, if you still GB, if you want to go for that, then that's great. We'd love to see you in there as well. I'd love to be hit 100 entrants. That would be fantastic. Don't forget you can download our SiG and GB calendar for 2016 off of the site, this one here. You can get that it's on a lot of the GB threads and things like that. But you can, if you go into the GB and SiG section, you'll see that the calendar's there for 2016. And it's a good idea and a way to plan your builds for the year. So absolutely fantastic. I know Paul's got a couple of GBs going at the moment. I think there's the Buddy build with the Hind, and there's obviously his wheelie good one, which is for cars, which I'm hoping, if I get enough time, I've got about 5 models to finish. If I get a few of them finished, it runs for 6 months, so I thought I might, it's a non-ISM one, it's Paul's own one, so I thought I might enter something into that myself, but we'll see. I won't make any promises. Anyway, so that's the GBs and SiGs so far at the moment. It's nice to only have 2 on the go at the moment. We're going to go over to a review that I did just before Christmas of the Mr. Hobby chipping block. Let's have a look, see what I thought. Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a quick review, and an in-depth one as well, of this. This is the Mr. Hobby Mr. Chipping rubber block. Now, as you know, I'm not an incredible AFV guy. I'm more of an aircraft guy myself, so chipping is more an AFV thing. There's lots of different chipping methods out there. There's loads of books and things like that to explain how to do it with paint and sponges and washes and hairspray method and salt and all sorts of things. But I saw this online. I was buying a few other odds and sods, and I saw this online. I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I think it was about €10, something like that. So it should be about £8, £7.50, £8 at the moment. So I thought, well, I'll take a punt on it because I have got to do one very soon. Being this baby here, which is the Tiger One in honour of Cohen. It was started a year ago, but just haven't got around to it. So as you can see, this would be ideal for that, but there is a reason I can't use it for that, and I'll go into that in a second. But anyway, so on the package, as you can see, it just says Mr. Chipping rubber block. At the bottom, the most suitable rubber file for chipping of model kit, etc, etc. On the back, it shows you here that apply the paint that will be the base colour. After it dries, paint the colour that will be the finished colour. Rub the finished coat with Mr. Chipping rubber block to expose the base colour and give a damaged texture. So that's it basically. So very simple. And it comes in a little plastic thing that you can just take out and pop out, and Bob's your uncle. That's done. So this itself, the rubbing block itself, as you can see, it is basically just like a normal rubber that you'd buy anywhere in a shop from anywhere. And to be honest with you, feeling it feels like a biro rubber, but not quite so coarse. If you've ever had a rubber, you can buy ballpoint pen rubbers. They tend to eat the paper though. They rub away the paper, not the actual ink itself. This is what that feels like, but it's kind of not, as I say, not as coarse. It seems a little bit fine, but it has that texture and view of it as well. So what I've done to say, oh well, look, there's a rubber. I actually took the time to spray a spare Tiger One from that tank, actually from that kit, ready for preparation for this little video. So as you can see, we've got just like the turret top, okay, in my Mr. Hobby paint station that I recently acquired. Now the paints I used were primer is AK primer. I like AK primer. It does the job and it's nice and smooth, finishes nice and smooth. I then the base colour I've put AK chipping colour, which is AK 7111. Okay, now I think this gives just the right colour for chipping, of a browny, offy, blacky sort of thing. And I think it's one of the best colours I've found so far for chipping. It looks nice anyway, especially in photographs and stuff like that in model. And top colour was MIG Ammo's Dunkelgelb 7028 MIG 10. Okay, so those are the colours we've used. So we've got these three. So that's the order of application. To our turret here and everything. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will just start. I haven't used this before. I haven't even tried. So I thought this would be the first time. It'd be interesting to see it on camera. Now it says on the back of the packet. There's nothing inside. It just says on the back of the packet to rub to your own desire. Now. Looking at this, I'll zoom you in on this in a second. So you're looking at this here, you've got several type of effects. You've got round the edges, and then you've got this blanket effect here, which is wearing away the paint. So all you're going to be doing is actually taking away the paint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you for the first time I've ever used this. Okay, so we'll just do some edges first, and just see how easy. Now I've put 2 coats of primer on, about a good solid coat of the chipping colour, and then a good few coats of the top colour as well. So I'm just going to as you can see, rub this over and see what sort of effect we get just on the edges. As you can see, it's taking a bit of work. And you've got to be careful because look, that's gone straight to it. And you're going to have to rub very, very gently because that's gone through to primer there, right on the edge already. So I'm already at a loss. Let's just see how it does on a big bit. See, I did well with the top coat, you see. And you can see you're getting that, it's coming through now, the chipping colour. The thing is, you may say, well, I may have gone overboard with the top colour, but this is usually the amount of colour that I put on top of my models. I like a good coat. Now, when I've done chipping in the past, I've always used the hairspray method. I find that to be the easiest way of doing things. Let's just see if we can do some edges. I mean, that's with any chipping. I mean, I'm whipping through this. And obviously the edges are going to be a lot more. So, you know, that's gone right through the chipping colour, and that one didn't even press hard on that, and that's gone through right through to the base coat. On the top, excuse my cat outside the window meowing. I think this is going to take a bit of practice to use this. Obviously this is the first time I've used it. As you can see, there's lots of debris coming off from it and everything. Yeah, so as you can see, it's taking a bit to get through. Now, I kind of don't like, I've got to say I don't like that effect. Let me just zoom you in a bit. Let's see what you guys think. Okay, I think you can see that you've kind of scuffed a lot of this surrounding paint there just to get into that paint. Now I would imagine that the trouble is, I'd say, well, usually you do a lighter coat of the top paint, but I did quite a heavy coat actually, and I'm just trying to go around these edges here, and the trouble is I'm not pushing hard on that, and it's going straight down to the primer. It's going past the chipping colour, which I swamped it in chipping colour obviously to make sure that we got some. And now the idea of this is that you can come in around the edges and, you know, roughen up a bit and all sorts of things like that. But I've got to say I don't like it. I was really hoping for something a little bit better actually. But it really is just a biro rubber. See, I thought it would help with the surfaces like these, the raised surfaces on here, like this turret ring, and you'd just be able to go, you know, and it's done. But something like that, it's taken it right back there, and I've literally just touched that over that, and it's taken it, it's gone through 3 coats, and it's gone straight back to bare plastic on there, on the top of there. But on here, it's really, you know, you can't go over the area that you actually want to rub down. So if you want to keep it, you would have thought you would have had more control, I have to say. Now there will be people out there like the pros and that, but you can see how easy it is to go through. Now I've let this dry for 2 days as well, so this is bone dry. There's no case of having any wet paint or anything like that on there, but that's gone straight back through to either primer or plastic in one place, and then in other places that hasn't gone anywhere. So I'm going to have to say it's a bit of hit and miss, and you'd hate to get to this point on your work model and all of a sudden you go back to plastic. Okay, yes, you can touch that up. You can see it does produce this nice scuffing effect, and I think that's the only thing you could possibly use it for. There's this effect here. Let me just zoom it back out here. There you go. Okay, but you've got this rubber mark, so you have to be very careful how you do it. because you can see in the paint there these rubbing marks. So it's a case of you pick an area. Let's try and run up the back here, okay, just so we can keep it zoomed in. And let's use a fresh part of the rubber. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this little area here, just a little tiny area. Let's see how that turns out. Now, the only positive I can use for this is if you're doing like a scuffed area that's worn a lot, that's walked over a lot, something like that, you know, you've got your walk zones on an aircraft, it might be okay. But even so, it is very hit and miss, I have to say. I'm just doing this tiny little area, as you can see, and it hasn't come out particularly well at all. I think there's much better methods out there to do your chipping. I think the only thing this is good for is not individual chipping. You can't just, you know, go like that and get chipping, which is what I thought you might be able to do. You can see where I pressed it not very hard at all, and it's gone straight through the plastic there, and that was the first go. Literally I just lightly rubbed that, went straight through. So on the corners it's too rough, and then on the flat surfaces it's not rough enough. Now that little bit there's okay if you didn't have all these scratches which you have to make around the area. As you can see, that even that little area there which looks scuffed, you've got these scratches in. Now whether they'd come out with a coat over the top, a clear coat or something, I'm not sure, but I mean you can get some nice wall effects and then add some chipping around it and things like that. That'll probably come up nice, but you have got this like rubbed area around that shows up, as you can see, and I think that's it's where you scratch the paint obviously, so that's going to show up in the end result. So I have to say, overall, I'm not impressed with that. That is the first go with it. I think I'll practice a bit more. I think it needs it. You leave a lot of debris. There's a lot of debris all over the, you know, dust and things like that. So it's going to be a messy way of doing it as well. The Mr. Hobby Mr. Chipping rubber block. I would say, to be honest with you, that was 10. I think it was 10, 11 euros. I've already flashed that price. You can go into any stationery shop and buy a biro rubber for well, this works out about £8 in English money. You can go and buy a biro rubber for like £1, and that will have exactly the same effect. You just cut the square edges and things like that to give you the same effect, and that will have the same effect because I think that's all it is. You've got these very sparkly bits here. I don't know if you can see them on camera. Let me just zoom you in. You've got these sparkly bits here, okay, and that's actually little metal filings and coarse stuff and from the rubber, which is how they take away biro pen on paper, because it rubs the paper away, not the actual pen itself. So I'm going to have to give that quite a low score actually. I'm going to say price wise it's awful, because it is literally just, I think, a biro rubber. So the price is awful. Also, it's not going to be good. It could be something, I would say you could have it in your arsenal as another way of doing something to add to an effect. So you maybe put this down first just to get that worn look, and then chip around it and that. But you have to be very, very careful about your overshoot and everything, because it just marks the paint, it scratches everything else. You can't get any control with it because you either have to rub too hard or too little. So you might get very good with it with some practice, but to me, I mean, I'd say that's a 4.5, a 5 if you're lucky. I would probably say a 4 actually. I'm going to give that 4 out of 10, and that is my lowest score ever with anything modelling. You know, maybe you guys have used it and thought it's better, but for a first go, I'm looking at that and I'm saying I'd want to at least practice another few hours with that before I even attempted to on a model that I've spent lots of time and devotion on. But I'm not impressed with that at all, as you can tell. So until next time, take care. Bye bye. Okay, so there you go. That's what I thought. I've got to say I wasn't too enamoured with it whatsoever. I think that's quite evident in the video. It's a bit of a shame because I love Mr. Hobby products. I think they're usually, most of them are pretty good. To be honest with you, it really does feel like a ballpoint ink eraser. and you can get those for 50p from any stationery shop, and I think that would work exactly the same. I would say that's probably a little coarser, so probably the biro rubbers that obviously rub the paper away, they don't rub the pen away, would do just as well, so it's a good idea there. So unfortunately for 11 euros I think that thing cost me, I think that's a big thumbs down, which is it's quite rare that I give a thumbs down for anything, but that was, no, wasn't for me, I'm afraid, and it's a shame because I love Mr. Hobby. Anyway, we're going to go on to the prize draws. Right, okay, so the prize draw for January 2016, the prizes were the Meng PLZ 05155mm SPG, that was donated by E-Models, a cracking little kit by the looks of it. And from Ultimate Modern Products we had the Mega Pack of Sanders, so it's one of all of our range of Sanders. Before we go any further, obviously if you do win and you let me know on the forum, let us have a picture of you with your prize, that would be fantastic. It's a shame because a lot of people have stopped doing it, so it'd be great to keep the Rogues Gallery going. It's nice to see people with their prizes and their winnings and everything. It's always nice to see. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. Anyway, so the winners are for the Meng PLZ 05155 SPG. The winner is Avgas. Avgas, whose name is Dave from the UK. Well done, Dave. You get the Meng PLZ 05. Nice win. And for the Ultimate Sander Mega Pack, the winner is a McLean 187 from Germany. Well done, McLean 187. If you two guys could PM me your names and addresses on the ISM, that would be fantastic, and we'll get those prizes out to you as soon as we get it. All right, fantastic, well done. So the prizes for this month, again sponsored by E-Models, we've got the Trumpeter 148 Sukhoi Su-11 Fish Pot, brand new release from Trumpeter, I think a nice looking aircraft as well. And from Ultimate we've got the Tarangus 148 Saab Lanson A32A, so 2 kits this month. So both people, whoever win these has got a fantastic chance of winning a good kit, I think. So if you want to get your names down for this competition, dive over to International Scale Model, scalемodel.com, find the competition thread, the competition forum, and in the thread there it will say free prize draw for February 2016. Just post something, anything in that thread, and that guarantees your entry then into the draw at the end of the month, which is done by random.org. Okay, so now we are going to go over to our build section. We're going to do a quick one of mine. It is a quick one. I did have a real splurge over Christmas, but unfortunately I've been really busy again this month. It's been hectic, so I've started up another business, like a freight business between here and the UK, covering France and Germany and things like that. So that's starting to take a toll on my time, as well as all the stuff with Ultimate and everything. So it's been a busy month for me, but it's been great. So I've managed to do a little bit, but not a lot. So over to me. Okay, welcome back to my bench. I'm going to start with some sad news actually. I've just picked this up to do an update, which is this rocket, this Pegasus Models rocket, which I was actually going to make I was going to do a final coat on it. I've done one more coat, I think, from the last time we talked, and then do another coat on it. But if you can have a look from the overhead here, let's see if I can get you in. You can see here, great big cracks appeared. You see? Now, I've only just noticed this. There's one or two explanations. One is that my son has dropped this on the floor and he sneakily put it back again, which I find highly unlikely because I think that would have come off if it had been dropped. But then I can't understand why that would have cracked like that. I can't see any reason for that whatsoever. The canopy's snug, but I don't think it's enough to cause the pressure to crack that styrene after an amount of time. So I can only assume that this has been dropped, and I can't see any other marks on it to say that it's been dropped. And the only way that could happen, I mean, really, even if it was dropped on the canopy here, it wouldn't crack like that. So I have no idea why that's cracked. So if anyone's got any suggestions, I'd love to hear them, because I can feel that and sort it out. It's not a problem, but I want to know why it's cracked like that. I mean, that's proper stress cracking. I think it can't be dropped, because if it was dropped on its on the canopy. The canopy would have gone down, even though it is glued very tight in there, so I don't think that would have moved actually. The cracks, I don't think the canopy would be enough to pull the plastic in to crack it like that. So it's really strange one, that. I don't understand that whatsoever. So that's got to go back up on the shelf and have a little bit of work done to it. The only other thing, I've obviously got the other ones that I had in the last new show. I haven't been able to paint any of those yet. The only thing I've managed to do any work on at all is the F16. The only things that I've done on this really is since the last report, I've cleaned up a lot of the undercarriage and the wheel bays and things like that. And that's all cleaned up and ready to go. I've also sprayed the inside of. I've put together the exhaust nozzles, which was resin. A lot of cutting and sawing, so a lot of face masking and stuff like that. And now I've put the ceramic white base coat down inside there, and I'm just going to stain that up a bit inside and everything, make that dirty, make that look nice, and then I can fill that, and then I can pop that onto the back of the plane aircraft here, and that goes on there like so. It seems to fit together very well. Luckily in the instructions it tells you exactly which way to put it up and things like that. They're a little bit vague, I have to say, but and then obviously the turbine itself, as you can see, it's got a couple of bits of photo etch on there as well, which you can't really see. I should again give that a dry brush. Apart from that, the nose has gone on now. As you can see, I put a little bit, I don't know if it needed nose weight in there, but it has got a little bit in there. And I've covered up the inside there. I've got to spray all this black now, so the inside of the cockpit's covered up and ready for that, so I'm going to do that next probably. Apart from that, I've still got to figure out, as you can see, I forgot to put the airflow deflector in the middle of the thing as I was building it. That was a big boo-boo from me, so I'm going to have to fit that in at a later date when I'm feeling can be bothered, basically. But apart from that, that's really much where I am with my model. As I say, this month has been really busy with regards to work-wise, start up a new company and things like that. I know it's all excuses, but you know, we've all got to earn a living and pay the bills and everything. What I do hope to do, what I want to do is a couple of these little minions. Now I've got the R2 banana and the RB banana, the Terminator one. They're those two. I have got the Dalek one on the way, which I really like the look of as well. So what I'm going to do is, for these I was going to get some bases, some wargaming bases. I know you can buy them, little circular things. That I was going to put these on and just use those as a little presentation thing. So I've got this kit that I've had for about a year now when I started doing dioramas, and it's an electromagnetic thing. And you put the fake grass, you put that on the thing, and then you just put the electrical current through this base, and it all just sticks to it. You can't actually put some glue on there, and it all just sticks to it. But stood up, it's actually really effective. So I've got that to play around with as well. But I want to do lots of little mini bases for these, and I want a proper, because I am going to get all 60 in the end. I've got about 25 of these. I am going to get them all in the end. They're fantastic little things, and I think once I just want to do a whole couple of shelves in the display cabinet just for these guys and all the other retro stuff. I love the retro stuff, I really do. I think a lot of it's very original. So I'm going to hopefully get cracking on those, but apart from that, that's not what I've done much of. That will be built and prepped and ready for paint by the end of this month, by the end of February. So then I can spend March spraying that up. As again, I've just put these wings things on, and again it's needed bits more filler, and that is it leaves a lot of just very fine filling, I think, just to finish it off. But I also want to get this one done as well, which is the LA7. I do want to get at least the bottom coat down on that and some of the camo as well. I'm going to try and get a day off. Or give myself 2 days. I might have. I've got a long trip. I've got a long haul trip in a week's time to England for the transport company, and I've got that. That's going to take a week, so I'm away for a week. So when I get back, I'll have a day catching up with all my mortgage stuff and things like that, and then I'm going to take a couple of days off, and I'm going to literally, while the son's at school until 2 o'clock every day, I'm going to do modelling, and that's it. And I'm going to treat myself. Because of that, and obviously I've also got this has still got to be done as well. This is all primed and ready to go as well, the GWH B2. I want to get that one done. I want to get at least half the camos done, you know, and started on those. So, I'd like to make a start on one of these. I think I'm going to do the R2 one, because that literally I'll probably say out of the two, that's probably the easier to paint, because it's just lots of hand painting. You put the white and the yellow on and lots of hand painting. So I should probably get that one done first. But that's where I am this month. As you can see, not a lot to talk about, and not a long one like it was last month, but I'm still hopeful that I'm going to get quite a bit of that F16 done in the next couple of weeks. So we'll take you back to the show. Back to me again. Right, well there you go. I told you it wasn't a lot, didn't I? But it's a little bit. It's something. If I can get some, hopefully I want to get that ready for paint by the end of this month, and I can paint it next month. Hopefully I've got lots of others ready for paint as well, which I want to do. So it's a case of having maybe a couple of days off and just spend 2 whole days in the spray booth, which would be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to that if I can do it. Now we're going to go over to Paul, who's been busy as usual. So over to Paul's section of the show.
Okay, thanks Lee. So welcome to my section of news show. Lee's probably gone over the majority of things, but I'll talk about what I want to talk about as well. Then we'll go to the bench, have a look what I've been working on this month. So the GB SiGs F16 and From Russia With Love is well underway. Loads of great entries in both. Both of my builds, they're ongoing, kind of. You'll see the bench in a minute. They are trickling along. There's no work done on the MIG, but the SUFA's moving along. We had a car/bike SIG start on the forum. My idea mainly, it's been brewing for a couple of, well, we had one originally that not many people took part, and ever since then people have been asking for it. So I thought, I've got a few car kits, we'll do one. So I started one called the Wheelie Good car and bike SIG. There's a lot of people taking part in that, which is great. Proven very successful. My build I've enjoyed immensely. Fantastic, and I can see me build more cars in the future, but you'll see that when we go to some bench have a look at my build as well. UMP retro kits and TAM models now in stock. Retro kit, almost everything they sell, the sci-fi, the APCs, the Star Wars stuff, the Minions. The Minions are great. I'll show mine in a minute when we go to the bench as well. Absolutely superb. We've got the TAM model RF84 Thunderflash in stock. I started building mine as well. So again, you'll see that when we go to the bench. And the countdown is still countdowning, if that's a word, counted down for the new product release as well. It has bumped up a little bit, but we should be on track for that release date. What else we got to talk about? The Hangouts, as usual, still ongoing every day. A few new people in there. We've got Terry, Ivan, we've had Lonnie in there as well. Hopefully get Daz back, Stella Munster. So yeah, they've been trickling over more and more all the time, through the day, through the nights, at stupid hours in the morning. It was Ant Coolum, Ginger Pook's birthday a couple of weeks ago. And for his birthday he decided that we should do another 2-hour speed build, but it was a drinking game as well. So we all randomly had timers set for alarms. Every time the alarm went off we had to do a shot, and over the course of 2 hours we got slowly inebriated. Well, some not so slowly, yeah, it was a great laugh. We had fountains of vomit, which wasn't pretty. Eric put on a spectacular display live on camera, and is now forever nicknamed the Puking Prick, aka Bishop, due to the scene on Aliens where Bishop gets the Queen alien's tail for his stomach and he splurts out all his bodily fluid everywhere. That sounds really wrong, but anyway, it was great fun. My build, actually I haven't shown it in my build update, but it's there. Little 72 scale Mustang RAF. It's there anyway. It was great fun. Now it is Andreas' birthday on the 21st of this month, and on the 20th, which is another Saturday, he wants to do one as well, another drinking game. So if you want to see a live hangout, they're on my channel, Paul @ so the @ symbol ISM, they're on there. I put the links on Facebook, ISM, all the time as well, and the Pixelplastic page. So that'll be another fun evening's entertainment. Hopefully nobody will throw up this time. I also know that Rich spent, well, I think he was found asleep on the bathroom floor, not feeling too well. So we did have a few casualties. Yeah, the forum and Facebook page, mad busy as always, they really are. The forum, It's great. If you're not on the forum, if you're just on Facebook or just on YouTube, go to the forum and sign up. Honestly, you're losing out on a massive resource. Great people, great builds. It's stored there forever. It doesn't disappear like it does on Facebook. It's there forever. You can constantly go back and look at the same thing over and over again. With Facebook, it bumps down. The videos will stay on YouTube, obviously. But if you're not a forum member, please go over and have a look. The Facebook page is madly busy, as too is the forum. But the forum is ISM, not Facebook. Facebook is not a forum. People seem to make that mistake. It's not a forum, it's Facebook. And that's it really. One more thing I just want to talk about as well. About 12 months ago, we had somebody join the Hangouts called Les. We got to know him quite well. He had to disappear for a little while because he had a loss in his family, sadly. And he's returned to us, and he's just had the year from hell. He really has. He's just been one thing after another. And Les, he's a cracking guy. He's a real good, honest, funny guy with a great laugh of him. He's one of the main characters in the Hangouts. When he's in there, it's a great laugh. I love talking to Les, spending time with him. He's a great guy. And over the year, I consider him a friend. You're a great guy, Les, and you've had an absolute shitty year that nobody deserves. And today, Monday the 8th, is another bad day for you, mate. And once you get this out of the way, you're going to have to start moving on and things and what have you. But I don't go too much into detail. But anyway, Les, Lee's not the only one who can drink. I've got a shot here. That is for you and for Tom as well, buddy, and for Trainer as well. But that's for you, mate. Hopefully your year improves and you can get on with life. But there you go, buddy. Once you get today out of the way, hopefully you can move on. And keep sticking around with us. Please don't disappear. We love your company. Get your modelling room set up, and hopefully you can join in with the modelling with us on the Hangouts as well. But yeah, met a lot of good people, a lot of good friends through the Hangouts and the forum. Absolutely brilliant. So hopefully more people will join as well. So if you want to join the Hangouts, the link's always on ISM Facebook. You can talk to us through the chat when they're live on YouTube. If you want the link, just ask for it, and we can get you in there. You just need a Google Plus account, a webcam, microphone, and away you go. You can come join us. Not for the faint of heart. We're not liked among some of the community, but it's tough. For us, it's guys mucking around, messing about, and we're not there to harm anybody or annoy anybody, but it's just us. We're honest, straightforward, and we have a laugh, and that's that. So if you want to join, we're going to have a laugh, come and join us. If you want to just watch on YouTube. And there you go. So there you go. We'll go to my bench and have a look at my current builds, and we'll see how we're getting on there, and I'll see you over there. Okay, at the bench, let's have a look what we've got on the go. So first up, the Hind and the MiG-21, not changed at all, exactly the same places they were last time. I want to probably get the Supra out of the way, which you'll see in a minute. The Lamborghini, which I'm enjoying immensely, which you don't know have started yet, but you do now. We've got the TAM model Thunderflash, again, immense kit. I'm building some fantastic kits at the moment I'm really enjoying. And later this week, Friday, I plan to start on the vegan camo again as well, so we'll get cracking on that. I need a day alone, and that's the first day I've got a loan to do, because it's going to take me all day. So what have we got? First off, we became sole UK distributors of the retro kit minions. We've had some absolutely fantastic ones coming to stock at umpretail.com. I chose one, then saw this one was coming in and thought, oh, I've got to build that. I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan, and this one is, I think it's called For a Few Bananas More. I forget now, my mind's gone blank. But basically, cowboy, so he's got his hat on, etc. Banana gun, the little shawl thing over him. Let me get his arm in. There you go. So he's been primed black in the Badger primer, and then I found my own swatch colour of Minion Yellow. Mixed it using Mr. Hobby H4, mixed a little bit of H1 white just to make it a bit more creamy. These things are great fun. I've painted them in gloss paint, purely and simply when I'm detail painting them. If a miss or a little bit goes a father, I can just wipe it off with the gloss. So these are absolutely brilliant. We've got loads of them on the website, so pop on over. There's some absolutely brilliant ones. We've just got the Breaking Bad one as well, which is behind me, and I'll grab him. This one's just come into stock, so you got Walter White season 1. Again, absolutely stunning, and the resin is beautiful on these things. So I'm glad to see they got season 1 on it, which means we might get the hazmat one, etc. So maybe in future we'll see a few more, but they're immensely fun to build, and they're something different, break from the norm, and it is quite nice just to sit there and brush paint rather than everything being as it is. Next up, I'll get this out of the way because it's in the way. We've got the Sufa. Now you've seen this last time, I think. This is the kinetic kit, one I had a nightmare getting the cockpit for, and then the cockpit didn't fit, so I had to build it out of the box, and it was just a nightmare after nightmare after nightmare. So it's painted up now. I still need to touch up a little bit of the camo. There's a few spots that need a little bit of touch up. Then I've got a few other things to try, which I can't quite reach. They are behind me somewhere. Let me see if we can grab it. It's not that one. Yes, it is that one. Normally I'll prime it in black, get all the paint down, leave some of the black showing through, and then post shade, fade, and etc. What I did this time, there was a bit of people being idiots on Facebook a little bit, thinking, asking me why I covered up all the black. Well, I bought this, which is True Earth's Shape Enhanced Panel Line Weathering Set. So basically, the supposedly resin acrylics. Go to their website and have a look if you want to see it. I'm yet to try it yet, but basically there's paint in there, different tones, etc. You airbrush them on, and they do the paint fading and highlighting for you. So that's why I've just done it uniform colour. It does look crap at the minute. I absolutely hate the look of it at the minute. But I've sprayed it all because I thought there's no point leaving the black showing through, because I can't see what that's done then. And it's not the best kit in the world. It's gone together okay, but it's by far the best kit, so it's a test bed. I'd rather paint this thing that's been a nightmare from the beginning than ruin something that I put a lot of work into. So yeah, a lot of people thought I'd screwed up by getting rid of the black. Nope, not at all. You can think they're all you like. But yeah, I want to test these. Go to their website and have a look. They do another set called the Have Glass as well, which is for F-16s, getting the metallic colour over the top, tinting the canopy, etc. So I've wanted these quite some time. They went out of stock, and I did manage to get them, unfortunately. And they do quite a few interesting products as well. Avoid the filler though, the filler's absolutely rubbish. I bought that, tested it, and absolutely hopeless. So yeah, I think the canopy's still loose. Yes, it is. So out the box cockpit, you might have seen this on an At the Bench update. I can't remember how far along it was, but this is where it is now. There is a video on our channel. It's a terrible kit, but it's a 48 scale Sufa, and it looks mean as hell with all the fuel tanks, avionics, etc. There's a load of ordnance to go with it, and we'll see what that set looks like. And if it doesn't look any good, well, it's one of those. I've got this thing in 32 scale in the Academy kit, so I'll build that instead. Next up, again, UMP. UMP's just come sole UK stockist, well, distributor should I say, for 10 models, and this is their second aircraft. This is the RF-84F Thunderflash, so it's a reconnaissance version of the F-84. The kit's just been an absolute, it's just been brilliant to build. It just falls together. I can't describe how well engineered it is. Very, very well, cleverly thought out. The camera bay took a lot of work. There's 6 cameras in there. There's still one loose up there with the nose cone that goes in the end, but once I get all the seam work done, I'll put those in. Barely any filler. I've got a bit of CA glue. I've put in a few spots where it doesn't even need it, to be honest, just while it was there, but probably 4 small points needed filler. Away we go, and a couple where I thought, oh, maybe it needs a little bit, I'll just put some in anyway. So it's a bit of CA glue mixed with talc. But what a well thought out kit. Everything fits in. The the wing roots are recessed, so you don't see any of that. The leading edges on the wings are hidden, they're further back. A little bit of filler just there is needed, and a little bit around the air brakes as well, which I mentioned in my At the Bench update. But what a kit, what a thought out kit. Everything about the kit is so well thought out. Instructions are brilliant, colour call outs, the camo guide, absolutely stunning. Well impressed with the kit. And again, www.umpretail.com. We've got these in stock at the minute. and it's a brilliant kit. I know we sell them at GB and Sig, but just go and buy one and build it. Love it, absolutely love it. Out the box cockpit. Like I mentioned in one of my videos, I was going to scratch build some belts for it, but I thought, no, I want to build it completely out the box, 100% out the box. When they release some aftermarket, hopefully in a couple of months, I'll revisit it, build it again, and we'll see what it looks like aftermarket. So that I am really enjoying, but I put it aside to concentrate on other things, mainly this. This is my Aoshima Aventador. Now, I think I've started this. It wasn't even a couple of weeks ago. Spur of the moment, I bought it, found it on eBay with a load of aftermarket. It's this kit here, that one. There are a couple of, well, there's one at the bench update on it. There'll be another one in a couple of days as well. But brilliant kit, got a load of photo etch with it, zero paint with it, which I changed the colour of, and absolutely loving it. So at the moment, if I get it all out, we've got the body all painted up, the chassis, the engine, etc., and then a few other components. So if I grab a few bits at a time, number one, we've got the engine and the bodywork, the interior. So the seats have been masked off, as to the interior, sprayed in the green to match the body. They're not glued in position yet. They're absolutely pig to mask. They really were, but they look quite good. Still got detail painting to do on the centre console. The floor inside this I painted with Mr. Hobby H343 soot. It's a textured paint, and it looks a bit like carpet to me. Inside it's textured, so it adds a bit more of a look to it. So absolutely brilliant. Those seats took a lot of work. We've got the dash again. This is this is Badger Primer. I think it looks absolutely great as a leatherish dashboard colour. We've got the kit decal in there, we've got the kit glass, and then the photo etch bezel around the edge as well, which looks great, I think. Again, we've got switches, heater vents, etc. detail to pick out on that as well. So that'll be getting done as well. We've got the steering wheel, which again needs a detail picking out of it. We've got a badge to go in the middle. There's a badge to go on that dashboard as well. We've got the shifter, which I made a mistake on. I cut off the indicator stalks because the instructions aren't crystal clear. Look, I've got a spare one, so we'll get that PE off, respray that. Silly mistake on my part. We've got the door cards again, masked off, sprayed interior green. There's a few more parts to go on there, a little bit more detail painting, and they're ready to go. And then the engine, which is in one of the updates, absolutely stunning engine in there. We've got metallic decals that came aftermarket as well, proper aluminium spring suspension, glued in position, and the engine come out very well. Again, that's a textured paint on those covers to give a difference between the two different metallics. Alclad for the engine itself. Humbrol metal coat for the engine bay, buffed up to give a rough look because it's a material in there. And overall, yeah, very happy with that. Absolutely brilliant. The chassis, again, absolutely stunning. Photo etch, I was going to move that. Photo etch discs, resin calipers. So they come out really well. I went with yellow just because a completely different colour to the body and the wheels, which I'll show you in a second. And I think they've come out really well. Now, I put a picture up the other day, and I'll put it up in the corner now. I did originally go with matte black wheels. I like those. But having a look, and I'm talking to a couple of people, Andreas and Tim, I decided we'll go with a satin. So we've ended up with a satin wheel, which I think looks really good. And if you pop them over the top of the calipers, they pop against the, they go rich pop. They pop against the yellow calipers, and then with the green as well, as you can see, I just put that on there first, so you can see the yellow through the rim. With the green as well, as you can see here, they really do offset each other really well. Now, the body has taken me quite a while. Prep this in between coats. We had the green tester one, which I don't know if you've seen before, but that's a Mustang I got sent a while back. This was my tester for the 2K. I've tried different polishing methods, buffing wheels. You can see by the damage on the back. Don't use buffing wheels. Do it by hand. There's no benefit. You get just as good a finish. That was my test bed, so I kind of knew what I was going to be doing, and this is what we came out with. So we've got the Aventador's body. This has been sprayed with these Zero paints, Verde, Ithaca, green. So you got a one after the primer and then the pearlescent over the top. It was primed in alkali white primer. It's been taken back between each coat of paint, whether it be primer, clear coat, etc., with 8000 grit micro mesh, and then finally once the pearl was on, we got the 2-pack clear coats on. This one from Zero Paints, absolutely brilliant system. 3 paints, very dangerous, so make sure you're wearing a respirator and in a well ventilated room. You do not be using that around people because that'll kill them. Highly carcinogenic. A couple of coats of the 2-pack clear coat that was left to dry for about 5 days, and then I spent an entire evening cutting it back using different grades of micromesh, 4000, 6000 and 12,000, with coarse, fine and finish Tamiya compounds. It's ready for a polish, well, a wax, which we'll do at the end. But as you can see, we've got a decent finish. The paint's not perfect. It's my first time spraying a car body properly, I would say, ever. And my first time doing a car in about 3 years. There's a couple of marks here and there. I did get a couple of hairs. And I'll tell you now, the Affinity Stick sponge from UMP, absolutely great. 240 grit. They've got all the flaws out of there, straight out, and then attack it with the compounds. Absolutely great. But the body shape of this thing just catches the light everywhere, and I'm more than happy with my paint job. And that's it. We got the headlights painted up last night. They were chromed, so we de-chromed them. Science, bitch. In bleach. Took about 70 seconds to strip all the chrome off. We painted them in alkali gloss black base. Then I picked out the LED details with chrome, stuck them in, and we got the light lenses in with a bit of white paint behind, which you can probably see inside. There you go. And then we got the rear light lenses in last night as well, so they're ready to go. What we're working on now is, if I can just pop that out of the way, we've got a few grills, the doors. I foolishly didn't paint inside, duh. So they were given a lick of paint last night. They need a gloss and they're ready to go, because obviously when they lift up you can see inside them, and I never thought of that because I'm an idiot. We've got various parts of the front grills that fit inside of there. So they've been glued in. Tried a couple of different methods. I've got some clear Mr. Hobby, you know what, I don't even know what it is, but it's a clear glue. It's supposed to be for canopies, but I thought I'll try it, and I've no idea it works. We'll see it in a minute because I glued a piece last night. So that's in there. So that was that one, and then this one I glued in with aqua gloss. So again, no idea how strong it is. It's probably absolutely rubbish. Should we try it and see what it does? Oh no, that's, the aqua gloss has got that really well. So yeah, aqua gloss works very well, as does that clear glue. They're well in there. So either way, I think the aqua gloss is probably less messy and the quicker way. Just load your brush up, touch it, let the capillary action take it along. I know it's a trick used by others. I think Gary Bottoms mentioned it a while back. Somebody did, and that's where I picked it up from. Great tip, works absolutely brilliant. I'll probably use that quite a lot on photo etch now. And then we've got the front, I assume it's a diffuser with its grill as well. These are the aftermarket parts. The kit comes with clear parts for these with decals over the top, so these are a definite improvement. These all need painting black. God, long-winded this one. And this is 2 clear parts I stuck together last night with that glue I just showed you. It does glue well. It is quite strong, but it's also nice to know you can get it apart again. Now I did put a good blob somewhere else. There, right there, yeah, it dries hard but spongy. So I think for anything clear parts, etc., that stuff dries crystal clear. Right there is a little blob. That works very, very well. So like I say, this I've enjoyed immensely building this car. I'm fully set up for building cars now. I've got the correct spray gun, all the components needed to build it, and I can see me adding a lot more cars to my stash because I've enjoyed this immensely and I can't wait to see this thing finished. Still quite a bit of work to get done on it, but I've really enjoyed building this. It's definitely been a break from the norm. But like I say, I need to get back to a few other projects. The Heinz there, it's a long-term build that can trickle along as it goes. I'll get back to that. I need to get a little bit off my bench. I need to get that MIG done, the Sufa done, and we get a good go on that vegan as well. But this has been absolutely fantastic. I bought another, bought the 50th anniversary of Aventador the other day from Hero Boy for 23 quid. Absolute bargain. These are awesome car kits, very good and cheap as well. This one's hard to find now, I think it's a bit rare, discontinued, but the other one, 23 quid, what a bargain, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, you'll definitely see more car builds from me. I like the bikes as well, I've got a couple of the bikes, so again, something I'll definitely be building. So I think that is all I've done this month. So again, been quite busy. I want to get back to that Minion, need to get him painted up as well, and definitely get that Sufa, and I want to try that new set. So once I get that done, we'll probably do an after bench update on the Sufa before that, just show how it looks, and what's due next, and I'll come back after using it and show it in use as well. I would have done a review on it. I might do a later date, but to begin with I want to get my head around using it, because it looks like it won't work, but when you look at it, it does. It's a weird thing. Have a look on their website, trueearth.com, you'll see what I mean. It does look very good, but I'm not sure they're going to like the look at all. But we'll find out when we come back in another At The Bench update, and I'll report on that. So you should see another At The Bench update on this. I want to keep them separate so they can go on my build log. So it'll probably be a little bit of a repeat of what this has been. To be honest, I could probably cut this out of it and put it in there. Which I might well do, actually, cut this bit out as well. But no, I will do an after bench update on it. I probably will refilm it, to be honest, to make it fair. And hopefully, by the time we come back next month, this will be finished. And the vegan, might have its camo painted if we're lucky. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you around, and I'll take you back to Lee.
Well, there you go. Well done, Paul. Again, he's got a lot on the go, hasn't he? So I'm hoping that we're going to have the vegan done this month, or pretty much painted this month. That would be fantastic. And I know he says he's going to do some more of the Kraz as well. So those two videos should be up this month at some point. The techniques videos. Also, I know he's got other odds and sods going on, and that Lamborghini looks absolutely fantastic. I know he spent a lot of time on that, bodywork on that, and it looks like it's paid off. I love the Lamborghini, it's my favourite car, my dream car, so it's nice that he's picked that colour as well, it's my favourite colour. So that's it, cheers Paul. Just one thing, I think you probably thought I'd forget, but my recommendation for the drink this month, now it's another wine one, and it's Viña Mayor. Now this is a Rueda Verdejo, it's another Spanish wine, and here it's actually quite cheap, it's about probably, I don't know, I think it's €5.5, something like that, so about £4. But it could probably be a lot more expensive in the UK, but it's actually a really nice, easy drinking white wine. And I find myself going through quite a bit of it in the evenings where I've been quite stressed. So recommend it, a nice wine. But apart from that, I think it remains to be seen that that's the end of the show. Just to say a big thank you to all our sponsors again, E-Models obviously for the monthly prize draws, S&M stuff for our SiGs, MJR Models as our new GB sponsor, and obviously for Ultimate Modern Products for sponsoring wherever and whenever we can. If there's anything else you'd like to know, then please feel free to jump over onto the forum at ISM in scalemodeler.com. If you've got any questions that you'd like to hear on the news show, we might revive that thread. There's a thread in the news show section that if there are any specific questions you want answering, then we can sit here and maybe answer those for you. But all that remains to be seen is to say thank you very much for all your continued support of International Scale Modeler and Ultimate Modern Products. And we hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next month. Take care. Bye-bye.